Now duct cleaning to keep your air healthy. Find out how they can help you by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
News time is 8 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Tuesday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast. Brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Here's what we have coming up for you in news on this Tuesday. A local economic development leader believes a new manufacturer coming to Clinton should work out. That story leads us off in news this morning. The DeWitt County Museum's membership drive is underway. Learn more about memberships at the DeWitt County Museum this morning. The American Legion is visiting sites across the states recognizing Abraham Lincoln. It's a part of an annual tour that's one of the biggest of its kind. And finally, February is Heart Month. More on that with the University of Illinois Extension later this morning. But first, we stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. Late last month, it was announced a Springfield-based manufacturer was looking to set up shop in Clinton, and a community economic development leader is confident things will work out. Quickwall has signed a contract to occupy the former R.R. Donnelly building on Clinton's east side. The contract, however, has a 30-day opt-out for any reason. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, DeWitt County Development Council Executive Director Kurt Homan told Regional Radio he's confident executives at Quickwall will not want to opt out of that agreement.
Ultimately, it's a great, if the facility wasn't there, Clinton and DeWitt County wouldn't have been on the radar, so that needed to be the case and be available. Fortunately, it was in this case. From there, it was working out the details. Mm-hmm. So what would it look like for Quickwall to be here? What would their challenges be for them to come here? What do they need? What will they need to do to the building? I mean, it's all of these questions, permits, zoning, all of those things that you dive into to make sure that what they need to get done can get done. Mm-hmm. To start out with a little bit, I was on a webinar a week or two ago, and ironically, one of the things that they mentioned, for smaller communities is you don't go after manufacturing. It's a waste of time. And, and knowing what we had going on, I just kind of had to chuckle through that advice that small communities were given. But the reality of it is small communities don't have huge bank books to be able to incentivize manufacturers. And that's why that comment, was made. Manufacturers across the U.S. are heavily incentivized to locate into a community. We don't have those heavy deep pockets and funds, so we had to work around what we could do, and a tax abatement was an exceptional way to help them alleviate some of their costs, while still being very respectful of the community at large in terms of tax base and those types of things. Sure.
According to Homan, when talks with Quickwall first came up, he had to keep the conversation very low-key. He explains as the conversations progressed, finding a way to accommodate the size of the building and the cost associated with necessary updates became the priority.
This was an interesting one because knowing the competitive nature of attracting manufacturers, I had to be as tight-lipped as possible about this. So the taxing bodies weren't aware of this. My board wasn't even aware of this. I mean, I could not risk any word getting out to a competitive community. So it all had to be very, very, very quiet until the very last minute. So, but ultimately, what we tried to match is, what were their objections with coming to Clinton and DeWitt County?
Okay.
So what were their costs going to be? So there's significant costs in the building with some roof repairs. They've got to upgrade electrical. The type of walls that they're going to be building to ship out are pretty substantial size, so they're going to have to cut into the sides of the building, make bigger overhead doors to get those out of the building. Oh, wow. So there's probably $1.5–2 million of cost just in renovations to get ready to build product. So ultimately it's okay. Maybe a large community would say, well, we'll pay those for you. Well, unfortunately, we don't have $2 million sitting around for those types of projects. I wish we did, but then the question is, okay, well, how can we help? How can we make those costs less difficult, less challenging for a new business coming in? So tax abatements is a fantastic way to do that. So over the course of 5 years, it's a fairly significant number. They could go to a lender, advance those dollars if they needed to, or just offset those costs over a few years period of time. But the discussion did come up. Well, what cash incentive can you hand us? The date we start working. Really that really wasn't an option for us in DeWitt County. So we had to be creative and find a way that would work.
Homan credits the small town nature of the communications to have been the reason the company ultimately chose Clinton. He indicates he was very responsive from Quickwall in their pursuit of a new location.
I feel like I'm very responsive to people that inquire about anything, regardless of the size, whatever their question is, I try to get back to them. But in this case, there was a lot of conversations, and part of it was the quickness and the response time was almost immediate. So if I was with someone, I could literally text and say, hey, I'm with someone, I'll call you back in a half hour or something along those. And I will tell you that went a really long way in this situation. So, had he met someone in another county that had an economic development board that was on top of following up on all those details, the outcome could have been a little bit different. So
your responsiveness maybe propelled
absolutely.
this along.
It was. I think it was a huge factor. I think it's one of the factors they decided to leave. Relocate out of where they're at now is that they weren't getting that responsiveness elsewhere. And one of the benefits here is they're really important to our community and our county. So
and they will be,
and they always will be. So they're going to get quick responses always
when they call up City Hall.
Whoever it is, absolutely.
They call you up, they'll get a response. Yeah, and that's what I was wondering as you were talking there is like, what? Homan calls Quickwall the exact type of manufacturing company a community like Clinton and DeWitt County wants to attract.
I mentioned earlier off air that we don't get to pick and choose the companies that come here or who takes an interest, but this is one that if we could pick, we would absolutely say, we would love to have them come in. So number of jobs, they don't. The pay is good. Employees don't leave typically, so they typically stay. They like working there. The ownership has taken a real positive attitude towards the communities that they're in with sponsorships and those types of things. And the caveat there is anyone listening, please be respectful of that. They're going to spend $5-6 million immediately. So those things will come, so that, they won't come day one, but those things will absolutely come. It's just the type of business that you want that provides people with a good standard of living and gives back to the community that they're in. And, you couldn't ask for anything better than that.
Homan had a lot more detail on how things came together with this manufacturer and more specific details on its plans for the renovation of its location. We'll have more with Homan on that in the days ahead on Regional Radio. A membership is a great way to support your local history. Joey Long is the director of the C.H. Moore Homestead and DeWitt County Museum and explains their memberships are open to all. Funds received from their annual membership drive goes towards programming and maintenance of the C.H. Moore Homestead.
So the DeWitt County Museum Association membership is open to anyone who would be interested in supporting us in our mission of preserving and promoting DeWitt County's history and heritage and the upkeep of the house and all the buildings and the grounds and the programming and the special events and everything. Memberships are one of the things that actually make it possible for us to do all these things. So memberships are renewed, they're annual, and they renew every January. So now is a great time to either renew your membership or to take out a new membership. Now, we do welcome new memberships throughout the year, but January would be the ideal time to do it since they run the calendar year from January through December. So memberships run from an individual membership, which is $20, a family membership for $30, $50 is the family and guest rate or the business rate. A supporting membership is $100, patron is $500, or a lifetime membership for $1,000.
Becoming a member will give you unlimited free admission for daily tours as well as numerous events throughout the year. Long Notes members will also receive their twice annual newsletter.
Membership does come with benefits, so it's unlimited free admission for daily tours at the museum, unlimited admission to the quilt show that we have each June throughout the month, and then it's free admission for house tours during the festival weekend, as well as all of our candlelight tours. And then in addition to that, all members receive a copy of the Homestead Gazette. That's the museum's newsletter that goes out twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. I have a lot of people that tell me that they take out membership just because they want the newsletter. It really is a nice little newsletter. So there's always a little biographical sketch or a look at, C.H. Moore, a letter from the director's desk, letter from the president's desk, some of my articles, I focus on artifacts of interest, just pull something and tell you what is so special about this thing that might not look special when you look at it, but then, you realize how special this item actually is. If anybody remembers when I used to write the Pieces of the Past for the Clinton Daily Journal, there are articles in there that put you in the mind of that. So just a lot of really neat things as far as, history articles and artifact articles, but then also up-to-date information about upcoming events and, special projects at the museum and things like that.
According to Long, the museum does not receive any public funding, meaning they rely heavily on memberships, grants, and donations to stay up and running. She's grateful to their loyal members who help keep the museum going.
The museum is actually privately funded, so we do not receive any tax dollars to help us with our operations. So the museum's income is solely based on membership, daily admissions, donations, grants, and then, of course, the big one that helps us, get along is the Apple and Pork Festival. I do want to thank everyone who so far has sent in their renewals, and I also want to thank those who, yesterday in the mailbox, I had a few new members, and so really happy about that. And each year, that list of members continues to grow, and it's something that I'm very proud of, and it makes me really happy to know that, the community does support the museum, that they see the value in having us there, that they, that our history matters to them, and community support is everything, right?
Become a member by giving the museum a call at 217-935-6066 and get more information at chmorehomestead.org. Veterans are continuing a long-running tradition in Illinois. Department Adjutant for the American Legion, Josh Thielen, notes the Lincoln Pilgrimage is one of the longest-standing trips of its kind in the country, and the trip allows attendees to attend the award ceremonies and have the opportunity to visit the President Abraham Lincoln Tomb in Springfield.
Things from the department is our Lincoln Pilgrimage. It's been running for 50 some odd years now. It is the longest running pilgrimage in the nation. And the American Legion, we gather on February 11th to hand out our awards within the department to our districts and divisions who have had successful years so far. And then on the 12th for breakfast, we get together, and that's the auxiliaries' opportunity to do some recognition. Then after breakfast, we break off and we go to Lincoln's tomb, place wreaths at the tomb, and we've got a lineup of speeches and stuff that go through and really explain and define how Lincoln had such an impact within the state of Illinois. It's a great learning opportunity that I wish we could get as many people as possible to just come up and hear what everybody has to say.
While the meals and award ceremonies are exclusive to Legion and auxiliary members, Thielen invites the public to join them when they travel to the tomb and honor Lincoln's legacy.
So the travel out to the tomb is not. Anybody out there can go in and go participate and see how we do things. But the dinners and the breakfast and lunch that go on are more Legion-oriented.
Okay.
It's not something that the average person is going to want to go and participate. And you got to pre-buy your tickets and everything else. So, but the tomb being open to the public is open for everybody. And it's a great opportunity to come and meet some leadership within the state of Illinois, not just within the Legion, but we've had the governor come in and give speeches. We get the Springfield mayor comes in and gives us speeches and stuff. So it's an opportunity to see people that, again, how often do you get to see the leadership from the state of Illinois, your representatives, your congressmen, women, stuff like that, that on a regular basis, maybe you're not thinking about, maybe you, in some cases, you probably don't want to, but if you've got that opportunity, take it and maybe ask that question that you've been wanting to know forever.
The Legion participates in pilgrimage that takes them out of state as well. Thielen explains, they travel to the Missouri and Kansas to honor Truman and Eisenhower, which is a great opportunity to learn something new.
We've got two others that we try to attend annually, and that is the Truman pilgrimage in Missouri, which we've got a great working relationship between the Illinois and Missouri legions. So we try to make it down there for that, but we also try to make it to the Eisenhower pilgrimage in Kansas, which is another just completely unique experience that, again, growing up, I never knew these events existed, but had I would have loved to participate in it. Just the opportunity to learn something about the presidents that maybe you don't think about all the time. We think about Lincoln all the time because he's from Illinois. He's a representation of what we have become. Understanding and knowing about Lincoln is very important within the state of Illinois, but we don't think about how Truman impacted Missouri or Eisenhower did in Kansas. You know, the other states that have the presidents themselves, how did they impact the growth within their state?
Visit the Clinton American Legion's Facebook page to keep up with the latest events and information. News time is 25 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. More to come after this.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
News time, 25 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. February is Heart Health Month, and the University of Illinois Extension has a program this evening they're inviting the community out for. Caitlin Mellendorf is a nutrition educator at the U of I Extension in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties. She is hosting a heart health program in Maroa, and then again next week at Warner Hospital in Clinton.
So for the month of February, we're going to start here in a couple weeks at the Maroa Public Library. We've got class on February 4th in the morning. And then that following week, I'll be at Warner Hospital in Clinton, February the 13th. That is an afternoon class. And you can find all of the details to sign up at our website at go.illinois.edu/DMP for DeWitt, Macon, Piatt. And I know for like Maroa Public Library, they are taking signups for this class. They're going to be tracking that for me, which is really nice. And so if you call the library or even just walk into the library and you can get signed up there through Warner Hospital, we're going to host that registration so you can sign up through us.
According to Mellendorf, they're going to be focused on heart health beyond February. She indicates the big topic for this year is going to be lifestyle choices for better heart health.
And February is American Heart Month, which is a campaign to promote awareness around heart health and heart disease. And in Illinois Extension, we do a lot of classes and education around heart healthy food choices, particularly to help lower blood cholesterol and lower blood pressure, which are both symptoms of cardiovascular disease and heart disease. And so I've got a couple of classes for February, and then actually I'm going to be taking Heart Month all year long. So I will have classes here in February all the way through. I think my latest class right now is scheduled for September. So we're going to take this topic through. So if you miss out on classes in February, just know there's more opportunity. But I'm going to give you a little preview into class and what we're going to talk about. So when we look at blood pressure and cholesterol, these are things that we can manage with lifestyle. So you might be on medication, but we can also look at your food choices and other lifestyle activities like, are you being physically active? Are you moving your body each day? If you smoke, can we talk about reducing the frequency of smoking or
Mellendorf has a lot more information about Heart Health Month for February, and we'll have more as we go through the month of February with her on Regional Radio. Time now for a look at this morning's obituaries. 55-year-old Michael T. Captain of Clinton passed away January 28th at his family residence in Clinton. Memorial services for 55-year-old Michael T. Clapton will be held at a later date. Calvert Funeral Home is assisting the family with cremation rights. Condolences can be made at calvertmemorial.com. 89-year-old Gail John Dunlap of Clinton, formerly of Rockford, passed away February 1st at Manor Court in Clinton. No services are planned at this time for 89-year-old Gail John Dunlap. The family has entrusted Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton with cremation rights. Online condolences can be made at calvertmemorial.com. News time is 29 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Coverage of news brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. Coming up, we take a look at network news and network sports. In local sports this morning, some news out of the University of Illinois. They've hired a special assistant on the offensive side of the football program, and a freshman basketball player was the freshman of the week in the Big Ten.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Chinese